Hello, pilots of the internet. Welcome to Power Up. In this video, I am teaching you how to fold an epic paper airplane that works really well with the 3.0 and the 4.0, and it works on its own too. So if you just want to throw this around the house, you can do that as well. Now, as you can see, it's pretty simple in its form, but it's really elegant and it's easy to fold. So let's get started. You can fold Maestro using a square sheet of paper of any size, but if you're using it for the 3.0 or the 4.0, be sure that your square is 11 inches by 11 inches. And an easy way to get one of those squares would be to start from a US tabloid sheet of paper, which is 11 by 17, just cutting 6 inches off one side. An A3 sheet of paper, you'll have to trim a little bit off the top and the side, but it's very easy. Again, you can get an 11 by 11 square with that. And you can also see an easy way to create a square is just to fold, for instance, this edge here to this edge, and like that. And then you can use these creases as guides and cut from one crease to the other and trim that off, and that will give you a square as well. In this video, I'm going to be using an 8.5 by 8.5 square because this colored paper looks better on camera. But again, if you're folding with a 3.0 or 4.0, 11 by 11 is your size. And we will begin by folding this right edge here to the left edge. And we'll go ahead and open that up. And next I want to fold this edge here to the center crease. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Your paper should look like this, and we're actually going to go ahead and flip it over. The next step is that we want to fold this top edge here down the paper, and you can see the way that I'm going to determine how far to fold it down is basically here. I'm even going to rotate it into this orientation as I do it because I want to make this section here, this whole rectangle, be the same size as this whole rectangle. And you can eyeball this. It doesn't have to be exact. This is just a good way to estimate where you want your crease to land. Once you've got that, you can crease your side like so, and your paper should look like this. Next, I'm actually going to flip the paper over, and I want to fold this portion of the top edge here into the center. And I'll do the same thing on the left side, like so. And I can open that back up all the way to this orientation here. And now what I want to do is you can see where these diagonal creases intersect the outer edges of my paper. I want to fold the crease that goes from this point here to that point there. And I'm just pulling this top edge down to do that. And I'll just crease like that. And I'll open that back up. The next step here is we want to collapse the paper using some of our existing creases. So you can see if I start to fold in on both these diagonal creases at the same time, the paper will want to collapse like that. And then we have these other diagonal creases that we need to reverse. This is currently a valley fold looking at it from this orientation. It needs to be a mountain fold, so basically I'm just pushing down on this whole tower, you can see, making sure it opens up all the way, and flattening it like so. Okay, and I'm opening it back up. That's just positioning us with proper orientation at this point. We now have kind of a tricky step only in identifying what your references are. So I'm going to go ahead and make a fold and then explain to you why I made the fold the way I did and let you follow like that. So, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and make the fold here. Okay, so here's my crease. My plane looks like this. Basically what I did was, first you can see my crease is originating from this bottom corner. That is one of our references. But then the other one is that I want to land this edge here right on that intersection. So you can see when I close this, that edge is passing through the intersection of this diagonal here and that edge. And I know that's a little bit tricky to get exact. If you don't get it exact, it's no problem. But I'll go ahead and do that same thing on the other side as well and hope that you can follow along. Okay, and now because our creases are all in the correct direction, it should be really easy to once again collapse this whole thing into this shape. And our next step, I'm going to actually rotate this into this orientation. Our next step is just to fold a little corner here where I'm landing this edge right here on this existing horizontal crease. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And next, we want to we're going to be bending this backwards. We want to tuck it in behind all the other layers. So you can see all those layers. This layer right here goes all the way back into the pocket right there. So I'm just pushing it, trying to pull the other layers towards me so I can do it. You can see it's going in. It takes a little bit of work. But there, I've got it, and it becomes easier and easier as you get that to close, and then you can give it a nice flattening crease there at the end. And now you can see we are really close to being finished with this plane, and in fact we're just going to go ahead and fold it in half on our existing center crease. And now I'm going to fold wings, and you want really pretty broad wings with this plane, especially if you're using it with the POWERUP motors. So give it just a nice broad wing. You can see I'm starting a little lower at the front than I am at the back, but in general, this slope is not very steep. And I'll fold the other wing to match. And now all we have left to do are fold some fins on the outer edges of the wings. And we want these fins to be pretty small and parallel to this crease here. So something like that. I'll crease that and flip it over. And now I fold this side to match. And there we go. So we can open all our wings up, and you can see this is a finished Maestro. It looks beautiful. It's going to fly really well for you also. Now, when you fold it from that 11 by 11 square, you can see it is a very nice size for clipping this 4.0 on. If I can manage that, it shouldn't be hard. There we go. You can see the 4.0 is just off the back of the plane, which is right where you want it. And this is going to fly really well for you. Now, you may find that you need to give this plane some up elevator. If you throw it, for instance, and it dives down, you may need to bend the back edges of the wings up. Now, you could easily cut and make some elevators here, or you can just kind of run your fingernail like that along the edge and create an up elevator that way as well. This plane tends not to need a lot of up elevator in order to fly well. It tends to fare well pretty much right out of folding, maybe just with a little bit of up elevator. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for more awesome paper airplane content, and check out some of these videos we have here for your entertainment. I will see you next time.